I don't know what to say, guys, but I am loving this new background for episode 2 of Umineko. I want to welcome you all back, by the way, guys. So I don't know what to expect from this episode as well. Like right now, where we last left off, it was George and Shannon on a date, I believe, and based on the description of the episode, I figured we were gonna get tortured from the get-go. But I think they want to play out the story a little bit more to see how things will unfold. I'm not certain. I don't know what the witch's plans are, but we're about to find out. And I just noticed, as I'm looking at this manta ray, it has a face. Or at least it looks like a face. In the abstract, you know what I'm talking about? Boom. Boom, right here. But anyways, guys, we're going to continue on. And if anything else, thank you all for the love and support. And let's see what happens next. Alright, everyone, and we're back.
たとえ狭い井戸の底だったって、立派な世界で海なんです。そこに住むカエルにとっては。
Shannon, who spent her days as a servant on a small island 10 kilometers in circumference called Rokinjima, said that with a smile. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a slightly late afternoon lunch at a restaurant with a nice view. Any boy's heart will jump about at the sight of a buffet. I myself was like that in the past. But with Shannon beside me, this buffet felt different. I couldn't shamefully make a huge pile of nothing but my favorite foods. I was, how should I put it, worried about my appearance. And chose a menu suited for a snob: toast, salad, and coffee. If I were by myself, I had made a pile of greasy stuff like yakisoba, mashed potatoes, grains, and the like.
シャノンはそんな程度でお腹が足りるのかい？だとしたら、男ってのは本当に燃費の悪い生き物らしいね。
別にそういうつもりじゃなくて。
On Shannon's tray, there was only tea and salad. Maybe the very idea that she could get away with at least one more dish indicated I was thinking with my male stomach.
ジョージ様こそ、それで足りるんですか？男の方はもう少し召し上がった方が良いかと思います。普段のジョージ様だったら、もう少しお昼を召し上がられていると思いますよ。
しまった、そうか。シャノンには僕が本家で昼食をとるとき、どれくらい食べてるのかバレてるんだったね。
はい。だから今日はお腹の具合でも悪いのかと思いまして。
Shannon was showing concern that I wasn't feeling well. Apparently, I had made her worry with my stupid attempt to impress her. And in any case, it didn't seem like my stomach was going to let me keep this pretense up any longer.
いやもう白状するよ。ついついカッコつけちゃってね。 女の子と一緒だからって遠慮しちゃって。
だと思いました。親族会議でのお昼の食べっぷりから考えて、それではとても足りないと思いましたので、遠慮なさらずに、どうぞもう一皿を取りに行ってきてくださいな。
ずるいな。僕ばっかり恥ずかしいよ。じゃあ、シャノンはどうなんだい？普段からこんな小食で、後ろ宮家のお勤めがこなせるのかい？
と、
Honestly, I'm not all that self-conscious about what I eat when I'm hanging out with people, especially with a girl. If I'm hungry, I'm just gonna eat whatever. And hope for the best she gets the same amount, because at that point, we'd probably both be hungry, you know? Especially if it's a buffet like where they're going, or where they are currently. Shannon grew silent and blushed bright red. Apparently, I wasn't the only one putting on a front. Ah, there you go. When I realized that my embarrassment disappeared completely.
なんだ、シャノンもそれじゃあ足りないんじゃないか。そうだよ、そうだよ。普段のランチなら、もう少し量が多いものをペロリと平らげてたよ。
女の子のお腹は魔法でできてるから、これでも平気なんです。
ということは、僕たちは互いに見えっ張りだったってことになるね。もう、遠慮はなしにしないかい？
I smiled to show that I wouldn't make fun of her anymore and stood up from the seat.
せっかく沖縄まで来たのに、ゴーヤを食べないのはもったいないからね。
Bitter melon.
ゴーヤの炒め物でも持ってくるよ。シャノンも一緒に行こうよ。ほらほら。
To anyone watching us, we might have seemed like a pretty humorous and, above all, embarrassing couple. But it's only after becoming a couple that you realize this banter means the world to us and is our world. So no matter how cold the looks we might have been getting from other people, we wouldn't even notice. Indeed, at this age, I finally understand the feelings of couples who want to endlessly flirt without any regard to their surroundings. After I returned with a plate piled up with fried food, Shannon arrived with a lovely cake. While laughing at our fake stoicism, we resumed our lunch.
せっかく海を一望できる展望レストランなのに、あいにくの曇天が悔やまれるね。
Our window seats, which we were lucky to get, showed the seaside scenery so grandiose that it didn't even fit entirely within our field of vision. However, because of the cloudy sky, it was a far cry from its normal beauty.
そうですね。晴れていたら、さぞや真っ青な海を見せてくれたでしょうに。
そうだね。普段、六軒島で海を見慣れてると思うけど、ここの海はきっと格別な青さを見せてくれたはずだよ。残念だな。
でも、お仕事の最中に見る海は、どんなに青くても灰色と同じです。でも、今日はお仕事中じゃないから、
Apparently, Shannon was doing her best to say an embarrassing line. But I agreed harshly.
惜しいな。ジョージ様と二人きりで見る海なら、たとえ灰色でも真っ青に見えます。って言えたら、100点満点でご褒美だったんだけどな。
すみません。
ご褒美は何だったか聞きたい？
聞いてもいいものでしたら。
ダメ。教えない。
ずるいですよ、そんなの。
When I was in elementary school, I was always the kid that got bullied. When everyone teased me, I grew nervous and speechless to the delight of bullies. Back then, I wondered why everyone teased me. But now, teasing Shannon like this, I understand why. This is so much fun. I can play with her emotions however I please. And I can have them all to myself. Right now, I can't think of any higher pleasure. Which is exactly why I have to treat her lightly. I don't want her to get embarrassed and have a bad time. So I decided to end the topic there and then. It's not good to be too persistent.
お昼が終わったら海岸を歩いてみないかい？ひょっとすると雲が晴れて素敵な海が見られるかもしれないよ。
そうですね。行ってみたいです。
うん、そうしよう。でも、そのケーキも本当に美味しそうだね。僕も同じものを持ってこようかな。
いけません。お昼にそんなに食べた上にケーキまで食べたら太っちゃいますよ。ジョージ様は秀吉様の血が濃いみたいですから、気をつけないとおデブさんになっちゃいます。
じゃあシャノンは僕がおデブになったら嫌いになっちゃう？
Oh, the ever popular trick question.
僕はたとえシャノンがおデブになっちゃっても嫌いにならないよ。
そういう意味じゃなくて、
I can actually picture Shannon fat and she'd still be cute.
ちゃんと体を気遣わないと健康にって。
母さんにもよく注意されるよ。やっぱり僕も太極拳とかを始めて運動しないとダメかな。
ダイエットは無茶な運動よりも食生活の見直しから始めた方がいいんですよ。その上で運動を重ねないと効果が出ないんだそうです。
つまりそれはデザートのケーキは控えろってことだね。
What a roundabout way to tell him, maybe you shouldn't have that cake.
じゃあ仕方ないからシャノンがそのケーキを頬張るところを眺めていてあげるよ。
ケーキ丸々一つはさすがに食べ過ぎだと思いますけど、半分くらいだったら大丈夫かもしれません。これ、本当に美味しいんですよ。
Shannon cut her own cake and tried to move half to my salad plate. I had no doubt that she wanted to share the flavor of the delicious cake with me. Even so, I deliberately and meanly pulled my plate away from her. She blinked, her eyes in surprise. She couldn't seem to figure out if that was a refusal of the cake or not. So I winked, opened my mouth, and said, "Ah."
それが一番したかったんですね。もう、ジョージ様は甘えん坊です。はい、
While still wearing an embarrassed, exasperated face, Shannon offered the cake to me with a fork. It tasted like cheap chocolate cake you could find anywhere. Still, it was exceptional, because eating cake in such an embarrassing way, as if we were the ultimate stereotypical lovey-dovey couple, had been my dream for many years. It made this cake's flavor heavenly. If the earth is destined to end someday, I wouldn't have had any regrets if it happened right then. It was such a moment of bliss. Ah, where'd the seagulls cry? After that, we gathered shells, ran from the waves, and enjoyed each other's company while walking along the beach. In the end, the clouds never parted. However, we both believed that our eyes were still reflecting a deep blue sea.
なんだか幸せすぎて怖くなります。
たまに言うね。何を怖がることがあるんだい？
私、後ろ宮家にお仕えする使用人です。そんな私が後ろ宮家に連なる方とこうしてご一緒してるなんて、過ぎたことのように思えて。
僕もびっくりしてるよ。シャノンちゃんと出会ったのは昨日今日のことじゃない。何年も前から面識もある。でも年に何度もない親族の会合の席で挨拶をするだけ。そんな君とこうして一緒に過ごせる関係になるなんて全然想像できなかったよ。それはシャノンもでしょ？
私は、想像だけはしてました。いえ、想像というよりは、妄想みたいなもので、いつも紳士的で思いやりのあるジョージ様とご縁があったらなって、 妄想してただけで。
じゃあ、僕たちの縁は、君のその信じた心のおかげだね。思う力には、魔法が宿るんだよ。だから、その魔法がきっと、僕らを巡り合わせてくれた。
I'm still trying to piece together if this happened prior to the whole event that happened at the Ushiromiya mansion. Like if this happened before Beatrice revived, or if this happened after, and right now they're in some sort of very similar to the Tea Party Purgatory, where they're living their lives, but Beatrice has control over that realm, where where she's probably gonna interfere with their relationship and make their lives a living hell. You know? It's going really well so far, you know? That's why I'm a little worried. This might just be a flashback if anything, though.
そうですね。多分きっと、それは本当に魔法だったんだと思います。
でもね、そんなことはないんだよ。僕の中でも、毎年出会うたびに美しく見違えていった君の存在は、とても大きくなっていた。そして、君にとっての僕も同じものだとしたなら、今日ここに僕らがあることは必然の結果であって、魔法や奇跡なんかじゃないのさ。
奇跡はあったんです、ジョージ様。
She stopped at the water's edge and gazed beyond the sea.
奇跡？
魔法、あったんです。
I was bewildered by the slightly mysterious expression which I sometimes heard her use.
魔法が？
はい、魔法です。言っても信じてくれないでしょうから、言いません。でも、確かにその魔法には、私とジョージ様を巡り合わせてくれる、奇跡を叶える力がありました。
それは、何かのおまじないのこと？
そうですね。そういうものの類かもしれません。一つ違うのは、おまじないなんかじゃなく、本当に本当の魔法だったという点です。
Perhaps Shannon isn't alone in wanting to credit an encounter on a miracle, or on chance. It might be a universal thing all girls share. For a man like me, an encounter with a girl is 70% effort to try to please her, and 20% raw courage, and only 10% chance. What she believes to be everything carries little relative weight within me. Maybe that way of thinking is in itself calculating and typical of men. But were I to express that in words, any kind of magic would be broken. I do think that to become this close has taken many fortuities, concessions, and great efforts from us both. We have this private time together now only as the result of all those things put together. And if she wants to call that magic, that isn't strange in the slightest. That's why I answered her the way I did.
そうだね。同じ運命を100回繰り返したら、僕と君がこういう関係になる結果は、一度しか起こらないものだったかもしれないね。互いを意識し合いながらも、僕たちは他人行儀な関係を今も続けていたかもしれない。そんなよその世界の僕らから見れば、今の僕たちはまさに奇跡のような関係に違いないだろうから。
そういうのじゃなくて、本当に魔法なんです。男の方にいくら言ってもこういうのは信じてもらえないんでしょうか。カノン君も全然信じてくれませんし。
信じるよ。僕が信じなくて魔法が解けたら嫌だからね。
ジョージ様。
In a small voice, I apologize for making light of her magic. Those words seemed to make Shannon a lot happier. After all, if a pair of people believes in the magic of love, it becomes eternal.
そうそう。僕からわがままが一つあるんだけど、聞いてもらえないかな。
はい？何でしょうか？
そのジョージ様って呼び方、嫌いじゃないけど、もうなしにしないかい？ もちろん、後ろ宮家では対面もあるだろうから、六軒島での普段まで強制はしないよ。でも、二人きりの時は、なしにしよう。うん。そういうルールにしよ
ルールですか。もし破ったらどうなるんでしょう。
そうだね。ルール違反には、何か罰ゲームがないといけないかもしれないね。そうだな。何聞きたい？
いえ、聞きたくありません。
He probably wouldn't tell you anyway.
何がいいか、僕も考えておくことにするよ。
This guy over here is a methodical tease.
はい。ジョージさん。
うん。素敵な響きだね。嬉しいよ、シャノン。
私も、サヨという名前があります。
Oh, this probably is a flashback then if she's telling him her real name.
そっか。ルールはフェアじゃないといけないね。僕もそれを守って、今から君のことを、サヨと呼ぶことにするよ。いいね？サヨ。
はい。
I put my arm around their shoulder and held her close. Her delicate body was pulled irresistibly towards me, and she leapt into my chest like a doll. As I held her head in my arms, we looked at the horizon together.
真っ青な海だね。この海を二人で見られて、とても嬉しいよ。
私もです。この真っ青な海を、あなたと二人で見ることができて。
As we gazed at the gray sea and a light rain began to sprinkle down, we kept listening to each other's heartbeats. The sound of waves soaked into my ears. No, this was the sound of raging waves. My body bathed in painfully cold splashes did not allow me to forget the memory of the day when my old fate was broken and smashed. In the past, tomorrow had been literally like a mirror to me. All I could see in it was the same me that existed today. My tomorrow would never be any different from my today. That was my old fate. But at that moment, for the first time, I saw a different fate beyond that mirror. The witch whispered. She tempted me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. She tormented me, saying that as long as I stayed in the paradise of God, I'd remain furniture. And so I learned of love, and decided to choose to become a person. Those days were like sweetly melting honey. But then I hadn't realized that they were the beginning of days filled with a new kind of suffering. Taking a motorboat that I had just been told about, I made my way to this islet. No, I couldn't possibly call it an islet. It'd really be more appropriate to call it a reef. It had a torii and a small shrine for the local deity. It was probably built to worship the guardian deity of Rokenjima. Even though I didn't know the exact meaning, I understood that it had a holy significance. Despite being in a place like this, I took just one more look around to see if there was anyone observing me. The only things I could see were the stormy ocean, Nijima looming in the distance, and the waves breaking against Rokenjima's steep cliffside. I readied myself. Timidly approached the small shrine and took up the mirror that had been placed there. It was an old-looking mirror, dim and dirty. If it were an ordinary mirror, that would probably give you a terribly bad impression of its value. However, since the mirror had been offered to this small shrine, that quality made me feel some kind of divinity from it. And I realized this was not merely a mirror. Even if it was nothing more than an old-looking mirror to a non-believer like myself, in actuality, it was a mirror that had an important meaning. Is it really alright to break it after being captivated by honeyed words? No, this is no mirror. It is the inescapable life I have lived until today. My fate. Break it. Break it, and seize a life from beyond the mirror. If I don't break it, my life will forever be a pair of facing mirrors. Nothing will ever change in the slightest. The witch whispers. Oh, okay. She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. Or maybe I have already had a taste of that fruit, because I ended up knowing those maddening emotions. Just as Adam and Eve felt compelled to pluck the fig leaf, I can no longer go without breaking this mirror. I fought with conflict for many days. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me and the part that sided with the witch repeatedly fought each other. And now here I am. Did the part of me who is here win or lose? There's only one thing I know. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. The cowards who don't risk loss and never try to change anything will never be given the key to open the path to a new future. The key is ready in my hands. It is to break this. To break it. Is there any other effort I can make as furniture imprisoned on Wakenjima? No. There's nothing but this. Come, have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture, and I'll accept my new sufferings and become human. These are surely the small and large trials I must impose on myself. Now, break it. Break the eternally unchangeable fate that imprisons me into pieces. I raised it high. Thought back on all those days of conflict, and after a time far too brief to do them justice, I finished my reflections and threw it. The thunder roared, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It was truly the wrath of the angels preparing to banish me from eternal paradise. I looked down on the mirror tumbling at my feet, broken in two equal parts, and having made sure I had accomplished my task, I looked up at the enraged sky and screamed.
いや、約束は守りました。今度はあなたが約束を守ってくれる番ですよね。
The thunder roared once more. I had already been banished from paradise, so I would have to struggle by myself in order to live. The witch had said it. That's the single element of the world. To lose it means to lose the world. Like how a flask with a hole in the bottom can't be filled no matter how much water you scoop into it.
約束は守りました。今度はあなたが約束を守る番です。私の願いをどうか叶えてください。ベアトリーチェ様！
Ah, so she was making deals with the witch also. Oh, we're back with the intro again? Is it a new intro? Furniture. You know, based on that intro, I caught a glimpse of a possibility that there may be romantic overtones between Battler and the Golden Witch, between Beatrice and him. So it's not just George and Shannon that may have some sort of connection. It's also Battler and Beatrice. That's interesting. I actually want to see how that develops. My mind wandered. Back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was a middle schooler at the time. An ordinary girl who dreamed about love, as is normal at that age. But I really should not have dreamed that dream. Because I am furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool and is not human. For a person less than human such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. The Ushinomiya family conference was a customary event held every October, but relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Okay guys, this seems like a perfectly good point to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. It seems like we are going into Shannon's story now. And I'm curious to know what deal she made with Beatrice. It may have something to do with love with George, or maybe both that and her wanting to become a regular person and not a maid that's considered furniture. I'm trying to understand that intonation there, but I guess we'll find out more about it in the upcoming chapters to come. So if anything, thank you all for watching, and as usual, until the next one.